This first slide, you can see the sets of traditional costume. On your right, you can see a female traditional costume. That is the full set. You have uh they for female, we wear this whole set on your right, and we look on your left, you can see the male traditional costume. The second slide, it depicts the uses of the Banaban traditional costume. You can see the first photo, um, female and males, they're wearing the traditional costume during the 15th celebration. Every 15 December, back in Rambi, we always have this celebration to commemorate our ancestors, the first landing on Rambi. So the first photo, the first picture, that shows they are all wearing the costume and assembling at the ground at Rambi. The second photo on your right, it's a photo of the USP students. This year, 2023, they had a tour to New Zealand and they wore the costume. So one of the uses too of the Banaban traditional costume is they represent our homeland. So if they have a tour, if they have a tour, they wear the Banaban traditional costume. So that is one of the uses too. And lastly, you can see the photos of girls or young women dancing. So they're wearing the traditional costume during birthdays. So it is used to during birthdays or special occasions like that. You can wear the Banaban traditional costume. The third slide is the making of garland, which is the bell. That is the process of making the bell or the garland. The first photo is the photo of my mom teaching me how to weave the bell. The second photo is my photo, and the last photo is you can see a young boy there wearing the bell. The fourth slide is the making of the skirt or tiriri. The first photo is my photo. I'm actually weaving the skirt, and the second photo is when it is done. Then I'm holding it, and the third photo is when I'm putting it on the young gentleman, where you can see his photo in slide 1. Fifth slide is the making of handbands. We call that tawanipe. You can see those shells. The first photo, we have to weave it on the pendant sleeve down there. The second photo, you can see there once it is done. And the third photo, when we actually tie it on or put it on the young gentleman's hand. That's what we call tawanipe. Slide 6 is the controversy or tensions. There's 2 points that I'd like to stress where there's a tension about wearing our traditional costume, the Banaban traditional costume. The first point is wearing a vest. Nowadays, especially young girls, they said that wearing a traditional bra exposed their breasts, so they decided to wear the modern clothes, modern vest, the white vest, to cover their breast nicely. You can see that photo down there. That's my picture. with my junior. I'm the only year 13 student standing there right in front, and the rest of them are in year 9, year 10. And just imagine that young age, they don't want to wear traditional bra. They prefer to wear a vest. They said that it's exposing their breast. And there we are performing without wearing the traditional bra. And the second point is the usage of a stick. Most of the Banaban dances nowadays, if you can scroll through, if you can check it online on Facebook, they'll just perform without without the usage of a stick, the traditional stick. And the traditional stick is very important. Stacy, if you read the Terini Panape, it actually explains the importance of that traditional stick. That's how our ancestors, they used, when we use that stick, we actually do some moves which were performed, which our ancestors performed during their days. What I can say is that the traditional stick is very important, as it reminds us of our ancestors. However, nowadays they tend to neglect that traditional stick, and I experienced that when I was performing in 2019. We just dance without using that stick. That's the sad story. Slide 7 is the historical reflection. That's the picture of my mom she's wearing the blue round neck. She's actually teaching me how to weave traditional Banaban costume known as Tepanmaye. And on your right, that's a picture of me. I'm learning the art of weaving traditional wear, Banaban cultural dancing costume. It's very the reason why I'd like to learn this art is because nowadays it's very hard to find it's very hard for us to see young children or young girls to have the passion to learn this art. That is why I decided to learn this art, because it's very important. It holds significant meaning to my culture. That is why I'd like to learn and to teach my children or anyone I know this special and this unique art. The last slide is you can see a picture of a book. I actually took that picture at the library of that book. The title of that book is Terini Panape. In English translation, it means the backbone of the Banabans, and it's written by Sikra and King. Okay, well, this European. Okay, sorry. And on your right, you can see a snapshot of her book, Mrs. Stacy or Mrs. King. Yes, that snapshot is actually I took that snapshot because she named our Banaban traditional costume. She named it as Tenta and Tekaki. You can see that in open and close inverted commas, and you can see the first name in the second sentence, Tenta, and the second last sentence. You can see there in the one in italic, the Tekaki. So she actually named our Banaban traditional costume as Tenta and Tekaki. So when I saw this naming, then I understand why why our elders in Rambi strongly disagreed with some part of her book, which especially this one, the naming of our traditional costume. She named it as Tenten Tekaki, but to what I know is that we call it the Painimaye. So that is why I'd like to include this in my last slide, my creative piece, because to me, naming of our traditional costume carries a lot of meaning to my culture or to my identity, and we've been taught by my mom, as you can see in the picture there, and my mom too actually told me the same thing her mom taught her, the how to do the traditional costume, and she actually told her the name, and then she did it to me too. She actually teach me how to weave our traditional costume, and she told me the name of our traditional costume. But while reading this book, it's a total different story. This European Stacy actually named our traditional costume a new name. This is a first time for me to see this name. And while reading, I actually joined on Facebook. I joined to our page, the Banaban page. I saw a lot of posts. Our elders, they disagreed on this book. And then while reading, then I understand why they disagreed, because this European women, she just named our costume according to what she feel like, or I don't know where did she get this name from. That is why that's why I include this in my creative piece, because I like to encourage this younger generation to further our studies so that we can write our own books and write a proper name of our traditional costume, and don't allow outsiders to just name our traditional costume whatever they want to. Thank you.